Have you found yourself anxiously waiting for someone you like to text you or call you back? Do you obsessively check your phone and wonder why he hasn't responded or if he's even thinking about you? If this sounds familiar, then you've got to watch this video because I'm going to tell you exactly what to do to stop anxiously waiting and worrying and how to take back your control. Don't go anywhere, we're starting in 3 seconds. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Antonio Borrello. Welcome to another video. This channel is all about helping you build great relationships so you can grow happy with the people you love. So if you're interested in making your love life the best part of your life, start now by clicking the subscribe button and the bell notification so you aren't missing anything. Okay, how to stop anxiously waiting for someone to text you back. Picture this. You meet a great guy at a wedding and you totally hit it off. He's flirting with you, dancing with you, and hanging out with you most of the night. And before the wedding is over, you exchange phone numbers and you leave the wedding feeling super excited about him. And you're certain he's gonna ask you out. The next day, you wake up hopeful that he will text you, but nothing. You check your phone over and over all day, waiting and hoping that he will reach out, but still nothing. So that night, you decide to take matters into your own hands and you type up a text message saying, "It was great meeting you last night. I had so much fun." Then you hit send and you set your phone down on the table. And then you flip it over so that you can't watch the screen obsessively and you wait and wait and wait. And then 15 minutes goes by without your phone buzzing. And that's when your heart rate starts to increase as you imagine all the possible scenarios to explain why you're not getting a text back. Did you come on too strong? Did you misinterpret his flirty behavior? Or was he just drunk? And then finally you hear that familiar ding of a text notification and you feel relieved. You flip over your phone and your heart sinks. It's only your girlfriend asking you if you heard from that guy. And then you're back to square one, anxiously freaking out because your text message has gone unanswered. But then after a few more minutes, he texts you and everything changes. You light up with excitement and feel great. He responded and he said that he had a great time too. Can you relate? I know I've been there. Here's another scenario. You're dating a guy for some time and you'd really like to hear from him more often, but you don't want to be the one who's always texting first. Instead, you're constantly checking for that good morning text or that text that starts off a new conversation after hours of silence. Here again, you're wondering what he's up to, if he's thinking about you, and if he likes you as much as he did before. It's the exhausting cycle where you're constantly looking for that next text message that reassures you that he likes you, that he's into you. It's the text that gives you validation. If this is your experience with dating, I know it's not satisfying at all. If anything, it's making you anxious and agitated, and it really shouldn't be like that. So what can you do to take back control and stop worrying about waiting for that next text like an addict waiting for their next dose? Number one, you turn off your text notifications. Every time your phone beeps with a new notification, it's changing the chemistry inside your brain. I'm not even kidding. Constant interruptions from new emails and text messages trigger high levels of the stress hormone cortisol, which can have damaging effects on how we feel. And keeping your phone alerts on puts the human brain on almost constant high alert as it waits for the next alert. And when you hear that ding, your body releases a small surge of cortisol, which triggers an increase in heart rate, tightens muscles, and causes palms to become clammy. And this tense state can last until you're able to check the alert. Then, when we gratify our urge to check an alert, it acts like a reward for our brain and encourages repetition of the behavior. This pattern of tension and relief can influence the human brain like an addiction. So the key is to reduce the level of arousal these notifications can elicit. This will reduce the amount of cortisol released by the brain, which in turn reduces the level of anxiety and stress, especially when you hear a notification but you can't check it. So as a general rule, turn off the audio notifications on your phone. Trust me, if your phone is always around you, you'll be looking at it frequently enough to notice that someone has sent you a message. Number two, give your phone a timeout. Okay, now that your notifications are turned off, put the phone down, maybe in another room, and continue about your day without the phone attached to your hip. And don't check it for a while. And do this on intervals. Perhaps you check your phone every hour or every 90 minutes. This allows you to take back control and attend to messages on your time. And because your alerts are off, you don't have that worry in the back of your mind reminding you that he hasn't texted you. Is that a word, texted you? He hasn't sent you a text. And this will allow you to tuck those thoughts away until you're ready to check your phone. By the way, are you a person who anxiously waits for people to respond to your text messages? Leave a comment below and let us know the strategies that you've used to stop yourself from thinking about it too much. Number 3, do something engaging, productive, or rewarding for you. Take action to engage in something specific that will take your mind off of worrying about him texting you. And do this without your phone. Many times people try to engage in other activities to distract themselves, but they bring their phone along, and guess what happens? They're unable to be present or enjoy the moment because their brain constantly goes back to obsessing over why he hasn't reached out. Instead, set an amount of time, maybe 1 hour, maybe 3 hours, leave your phone behind and do something that will make you feel great, something that will make you be present in the moment. You can worry about the phone when you return. And chances are, when you do get back to your phone, you'll see that he has sent you text messages or called you, and now he's the one worrying about a return text. But wait, I know. Here come all the objections as to why you can't do that. What if work calls? What if there's an emergency? What if your BFF calls? Well, if you're that worried about it, get in touch with those people and let them know that you'll be away from your phone for a period of time. The other objection, if I don't respond to him right away, he will think I don't like him or he will get upset. Actually, he should feel exactly like you just felt. He'll be wondering why it's taking you 45 minutes or an hour to respond. See, all of this is a big problem that modern technology has brought into our lives. The expectation that we have our phone attached to our hip and that we always have to respond within minutes is crazy. How can you be present with whatever else you're doing if you're constantly being interrupted and tending to people who could be anywhere else in the world? Things shouldn't be that way. We need to be mindful and present in the moment and attend to those around us, not constantly engaging with our phones while we ignore those around us. I see it in restaurants all the time, and it's sad. 2 people sitting together, sharing a meal, but more engaged with their phones than anything else. Put it away and give yourself a break. And don't worry about missing his texts. If you've waited a long time, so can he. Trust me, he will be more into you as a result. Number 4, get real with yourself about the situation. Why is it that a person you didn't know last week now has so much power over the way you feel? I mean, you just met the person. You hardly know him and he hardly knows you. Yet whether or not he texts you has the power to completely change your mood today. Here's the problem. We have so much anxiety when we're waiting to hear from someone we like because we attach so much hope to the outcome. Suddenly, someone who was a complete stranger last week now has the ability to affect how you feel all day. From a logical perspective, isn't that ridiculous? So why does it happen? It happens when you start thinking of this new person as the one, or when you start daydreaming and romanticizing a relationship that doesn't even exist yet and may never exist. So instead of being able to be present and engaged in the moment, you're stuck in a future where you're assuming so much. You're daydreaming and fantasizing of all the amazing times you will share. And when you don't hear from him, you begin to imagine all the reasons why and what will happen if he doesn't like you. And when you put too much into this outcome, you become too invested in the future. Look, it's good to plan for your future, but when you're planning with someone else, it's never so simple. It shifts your thinking from appreciating what you have to thinking about what happens if this person leaves you and if this future is not perfect. So we are not enjoying where we are in the moment. Instead, we are stuck in a future where we worry about the worst outcome. Number 5, take your ego out of it. First, remove your ego from the equation because that's where a lot of the anxiety comes from. It's cognitive distortion. It's your ego saying things like, oh, they didn't text back because they didn't like me, or something I said or did made him change his feelings about me. But in reality, the reason they're not texting back probably has nothing to do with you at all. By removing yourself and your actions as a factor in why they're not texting back, you cut through your anxiety. So take a step back and correct those cognitive stories that you're created in your mind. You don't live in his body and you don't know the reasons for his slow communication. But I can tell you this, his reason for not quickly responding probably has little or nothing to do with you. Number 6, overcome your fear of being rejected. Overcome your fear of the relationship ending. Essentially, it all boils down to this. You're worried that he may not like you as much, that he may not be thinking about you as much, that you aren't that important to him, and that drives you crazy. You're attaching so much of your value to whether or not a person is into you or not. And if he isn't into you, then that must mean that there's something wrong with you. And that simply isn't true at all. That's faulty thinking. The truth is, unless you've done something really off-putting, such as liking every one of his Instagram photos over the past 3 years, or you told him that you loved him on your first date, the fact that he isn't so into you is more about him than it is about you. And again, what if he doesn't want to be in a relationship with you? What's gonna happen if you get rejected? Is the world coming to an end? Are you going to die? No, it's simply that the relationship is over and you are no longer dating. Remember, it feels so difficult because you put so much false hope into something that might not even be possible. Look, rejection is a disappointment. It's a feeling and it can hurt. And you'll probably miss that person too. You'll miss the things you did together. Okay, that's true, but you must adopt the belief that if it's meant to happen, it will. If you're not compatible, it's not going to work out in the long run anyway. Rejection doesn't mean there's something wrong with you ever. It only means that whatever we're asking for is not meant to happen at this time. It does not mean we stop living or bury ourselves in a hole. Again, your value as a person has nothing to do with whether or not this person likes you or not. And please, please, please don't ruminate about why or what he was thinking or what he is thinking. You cannot read his mind and you've not lived in his skin. What you're imagining could be completely untrue. Now, there are some things that you can do that increase the chances of a person falling in love with you. If you're interested in that, click here and watch this video. Or if you're interested in the one change that makes you instantly more attractive, click here to watch this video. I'll see you in the next one.